Anxiety just took over my life. I was scared to do anything. And football gave me that sense of safe, that sense of community, that sense of I wasn't alone. I am very thankful I had football, because if it wasn't for football, I wouldn't be here. So back when I was 12, my mum had a stroke. I had to meet my brothers and sisters, and we all had to go to my grandparents. Not really knowing what was going on, we just thought, oh, go to Granny and Grandad's for dinner, brilliant, happy days. We ended up staying over there for the night, and it wasn't until my dad came the next day and said, yeah, your mum's had a stroke. And I remember sitting there at 12 at the time, being like, Dad, what is a stroke? He then started to go on to say that your mum can't speak. She's lost her mobility. She's not very well at the moment. She couldn't speak to me. She was having to try and write things down to communicate, and I think that was the hardest part. I remember standing at the bottom of the bed, the hospital bed, and just looking at her, almost in a way lifeless, and that was hard. That was really, really hard. I became a young carer and had to look after I had 5 other siblings. We all had to muck in, and being the second oldest, me and my older sister had to take responsibility, and my dad had to work. That took its impact. And then I was turning 13, and I just had a breakdown. And I remember I was going to school, and I just didn't want to go to school. I couldn't bear the thought of leaving her on her own. I was just constantly worried that she was going to have another stroke, or there was going to be another turn for the worst. And it wasn't that point. My dad was then like, we needed to go to the doctors. And I remember sitting in the doctors, and my dad just was describing to the doctor everything that had been going on. It wasn't until he said the words anxiety and depression, I started to understand a bit more about what I was going through. I started to stop eating, stop sleeping, stop drinking. I just couldn't face the fact of life. Football it's still a huge part of my life, and I think it always will be. From watching games to playing to refereeing, and especially when I'm refereeing those 90 minutes, I'm on the pitch. There's nothing else in my head apart from that game, and that's why it's my escape. It's the reason that I come off a game feeling refreshed. It gets my mind off everything else that's going on, whether it's stressful times at uni, at work. I just feel so much more relaxed because my brain can't do anything else but focus. Football has been such a great talking point for me. A lot of I'm a female referee can get a lot of people going, oh, interesting, that's really cool. Back in December 2018, I got a call from Paul McNeill, who works at the Scottish FA, telling me about this Football Saved My Life campaign, a series of videos to share stories of people within football and how football has helped them and helped save their life. And I remember saying to Paul at the time, I says, if it'll help somebody seek help or might relate to somebody, then yes, I'll do it. We went through the whole story, and it was tough talking about. That was the first real time I'd gone into depth about everything that had happened and how football had an impact on me. Once the video got released, the feedback that we got from it was incredible. It was quite overwhelming, but yeah, I was very grateful that I could have the platform to share my story, and hopefully that I have helped people since the video's come out. Looking back now and thinking about it now, I'm in a whole different city. I'm the same girl that was in that video. Football is still the reason I'm here. Football will continue to be the reason I can continue with my life. But a lot has changed since, but football will forever remain the reason that I am here. I always said I would never go to uni, and I'm at uni just going into 3rd year studying mental health nursing. It's given me that opportunity to be able to help people that were in or are going through similar things that I've been through, and it can kind of allow me to give back to the people that have helped me. Some of my best friends are all involved in football, and I think that's because we've all got that sense of something in common, and that's something that keeps us together. I still have my good days, I still have my bad days. Football is still my escape. Some people find writing things down useful for them. Some people find talking about it, and that's one thing I've learned over time is talking about it is the best thing for me. It's one thing, if I could give any bit of advice to anybody, would be to talk to somebody about it, whether that be your GP, whether that be your friend, family. Mental health and suffering with anxiety and depression or whatever it may be is nothing to be ashamed of, and it is just something that I would shout from the hilltops.